How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Friday, May the 9th, 2025. Is your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I am back with another video, and I think this one is going to be very interesting. On this video, you're going to have um, three brothers um, that are religious figures in their community. And the interviewer was asking them, what do they think about this thing with the Bishop T.D. Jakes stepping down from his position? And a lot of people say it's because of his health, because he did have some health concerns some time ago. And I can imagine being being in charge of the head of a mega church, a mega organization. I know it comes with a lot of stress. So, having grown up in a religious family and having had a father who's a pastor, I can say this that not all men are people, because it can be men or women. Not all people who say they come in the name of God really are really coming in the name of God. What do I mean by that? Well, I believe that at some point in time, especially for black folk, this whole religious thing, it became the new wave, right? It became the way that people could make, black folk could make money. Think about it. You, do some time in prison, you find God, you get out of prison, now you're a convicted felon. And what better way to reintegrate right back into society by through religion? So you have a lot of religious men who they got into preaching. It wasn't for saving souls. It was about, fattening their pockets. That's just what it is. And you see that it is ever more frequently seen nowadays than it was, years and years and years ago. Now with this thing called the internet, now with this thing called social media, you got things that are going on in society, how society has evolved to a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's anything goes. You have guys like P Diddy on trial for for sex trafficking, drugging people against their will. I mean, we got all this diabolical shit going on in the world. And whether you are religious or not, whether you're one of those people that you believe in a creator, you believe in a higher power, whatever you believe, we can all agree that it is some nefarious, evil, demonic ish going on nowadays. When you have a man like TD Jakes, Bishop TD Jakes, because you got to put respect on that title. He's a bishop. And when you have a bishop that has no problem going to a P. Diddy party, that tells me that perhaps you are not the person who you say that you are. Perhaps you are not the person who you allege to be. You see, I remember when the good bishop went on and people was throwing accusations about him, and the allegations that was levied against the bishop. We all know what they were. He came on and all but said, only God can judge him. And that's true. And that is so true. Only God can judge him because we don't have a heaven or hell to put him in. And whether you believe in heaven or hell, or you believe in perhaps the karmic view where you reap what you sow in this life and in the next, And until you learn what you're supposed to learn, you are doomed to recycle and come back over and over and over again. And perhaps when you understand that everything that you do in this life is for a higher purpose, at the point that you cease to be, then you can transition on. That is something that we should all strive for. But if you are founded in the Christianity belief that rides on the King James doctrine, I must say that yes, only God can judge the good bishop. But from what the Bible says, man, we already know, man, it ain't looking good for the bishop. I'm just keep it a buck. If you lay it all out and not trying to cast stones and cast judgment, but man, listen, I believe that you know what, everybody can do something wrong, right? Everybody can have a time in life where they mess up and they fall short, they fall off the wagon. I get it. Everybody, no, you know what? This thing called life is difficult. Nobody is perfect. But I also believe that certain crimes, certain offenses that you commit, I don't, that is hard for me to forgive. You for say I can forgive you for this. Okay, you broken somebody. Okay, so you sold crack because your mama wasn't around, daddy wasn't around, and you had three other little siblings, and you was an older brother. You did that because you was trying to feed them. You got caught up in the criminal justice system. I can understand that. You go do your time, and now you trying to get on the right side of things. Man, I can see giving that person grace. But if you're around here touching on kids, if you around here putting your hands on women, touching on women, and they telling your ass no, I got a problem with that. And listen, you can do what you want and be who you want, but from my perspective, the creator created male and female. That's just it. It ain't nothing else. There is nothing else. I don't care in all the religious books that you look and you research, all of them that have not been tampered with, they will tell you this is all that it is, male and female. So you the rest of it, you can add it up and you can put it together for yourself. But family, I didn't want to get too long-winded with my interview. I mean, I'm sorry, not with my interview, but with my intro before I started this video. But this is gonna be a good video. And this interviewer is going to ask these three gentlemen a question, and nobody is going to answer it. And this question is regarding what's going on with TD Jakes and him stepping down.
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
We just had a shake in not only the religious community, but our cultures community, to where Dallas, you know, we have people like Kirk Franklin, Erykah Badu. You know of these names, and then you hear someone like Bishop Jakes, the Potter's House, that of course has risen Dallas to where you have these entities and these figures that, you know, when you say the name, you kind of already know what it is. And we just recently seen that Bishop Jakes had stepped down. Now, I want to have this conversation because I have my own theories, you know, no Diddy, but I have my own theories about why he would step down. But I do want to address the fact that he did step down. What is y'all take on it? And then also, where does it go from here? Dooney, if you don't mind, I can start with you because you actually have a personal relationship with Bishop Jakes. You've been calling him out for the past few years, damn near feel like a decade or so. You've been calling the man out, and now it seems like he didn't answer your phone call, and now he done stepped all the way down.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame him. I wouldn't answer phone call.
Bitch, don't start letting you ask me
I'm
the
just telling
question.
you, I know. I wouldn't answer your call. Come on, go ahead though.
Okay,
please.
Let me say this, man, to Bishop T.D. Jakes. You know what I'm saying? It was never any beef, anything like that. It was just some things that went on that I wanted to sit down and talk to you about that happened at the Mega Fest in Atlanta. And one of the ministers you had on staff, and because of where I came from, you know what I'm saying, it challenged my faith. because of some things he did. So I just wanted to talk to you. I talked to Sean. Well, I didn't say no name, but your head security guard came to holler at me. And I sent the word out that I just wanted to speak with you. But your son came by. Shout out to my man, your son, Jermaine, he know what it is. And we talked and we discussed it. But I just want to say this to you, Bishop. You have sown a lot of seeds in Dallas. Ever since you came down, I had the honor of cutting your hair, meeting your First Lady, Jakes, Mama Jakes, Sarah, Cora. I just mentioned y'all named Jermaine, Jamar, Lil Dex. It was an honor meeting you all. And let me say to Mama Jakes, thank you for allowing us and sacrificing your husband for just the world. Let me say to the children, thank you for sacrificing your father for the world. You know what I'm saying? Because without your father, a lot of people would just be lost, okay? And so let me say this to Bishop T.D. Jakes. If we never get to speak again, let me just say I'm truly honored to have been a part of your ministry, truly honored to be a part of what you've done to the community. You know what I'm saying? And may you be blessed in your retirement as you step down. But I know you're going to preach here and there. But I just want to say this, that you have impacted my life tremendously. And you have impacted many lives. And so as we see you step down, your daughter has it. She has the mantle. You know what I'm saying? And, you just enjoy yourself. And may you go in peace. And may peace be upon your family, spiritually, emotionally, financially, and physically for the rest of your life. And just enjoy your life, man. And it was an honor. You know what I'm saying? And anything you got coming up in the future, I would love to be a part of it. Just reach out to me. That answer is still there. You can reach out to me. I would love to reach out to you and speak with you. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything. And may you get your flowers now.
He didn't ask for no flowers. He asked you what you think about the situation. You trying to give flowers.
Okay, and what I think about the situation is
100%. When the interviewer first started, he said, well, I have my theories as to why he's stepping down. No Diddy. Okay, so everybody know what he was alluding to. Everybody knows that the good Bishop name has done got caught up and intertwined with this whole P. Diddy case. So he is asking them a direct question. What do you think about him stepping down? And they know what he getting at. So this good brother in the middle, he want to dance around, he want to get a man all kind of, awards and, accolades and whatnot. Okay, we know that the good bishop did some good things. But the Bible say that, and I'm just saying, I'm no scholar, but I know how to read. Bible say that, man, when you move, you don't necessarily move and do things for the world to give you accolades, man. You don't, that's not what it's about. Jesus didn't do it like that. He didn't, he performed, real miracles, according to the book. And I mean, it just seems like man has really perverse religion, and now it's all about the money. And them guys who have them mega churches, man, them guys in my opinion, they on the same level as rappers. They're on the same level as in NFL professional athletes, NFL basketball, you know what I'm saying? NBA, when you start talking about like Joel Osteen and TDJ, man, shit, that's listen, they got some bread. And the question is how in the world do pastors, how they getting so rich and wealthy? How they doing it? It just begs a question where this, hey, listen, get a man his just dues and his rewards, give him his flowers while he's alive. I get that. But that's not, you didn't answer the question.
It's like I said in the previous interviews, okay, that it was time for him to step down. So anybody would know that the prophet had already said.
Oh, you mean after the stroke or?
Yeah, after the stroke. Well, when I seen him have that on there, because I've embraced the platform a couple of times, and just in the work of itself, it can have a toll on your ministry itself, mentally, psychologically, and it can affect your emotions, and it can affect you physically. So at some point, you have to get out from under that umbrella. So when he had the stroke on stage, I knew then it was a heart attack. But, us as black people, let's just say black people already know what it was. You know what I'm saying? But we just happy that he came through, he got out of it, and so and he got through it. And they prayed him through, and we prayed him through it.
Why'd he
got through
step
it.
down?
So now it's his time
You ain't
to
answering the
step
question.
down and just enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? He preached enough sermons that you can go back in 1996, before 1996, and you can be delivered from, you can be blessed from, you can get a word from, you can get a revelation.
So my question is then, when did he start going straight in? When he start, hanging out with the likes of, P. Diddy and, intertwining with that world? I'm not saying you're not supposed to preach to those people. You're not, because, you know, Christ came for he came for the sinner, because if you already saved, well, you need to keep doing what you're doing. It's the people that's not saved. So I'm not saying that the good bishop not supposed to minister perhaps to Diddy, but to be at the parties though, be at the parties. I mean, man, and having a good time. I don't know if I can agree with that. I just don't. I think that's just a little bit. That's not exactly what I think the creator had in mind.
From, and let me tell you something, he's the biggest of the biggest to have ever done it. He is our bishop, he is our black Billy Graham, I've said it before, and he is the hood pope. You know what I'm saying? And there's no other mega church that ever do it bigger or better, because I've seen it from the ground up. So thank you for that.
So if you were to in his retirement, if you were to see him at like a Diddy like party, would you give him a pass on that? Like, I mean,
yeah, I'll give him a pass on that. Cause Diddy asked me to a party, I would pull up. You know why? Because I would love the network. Now it's what.
Nah. See that right there? That right there is out of bounds, family. So you a man of God, and you gonna pull up at a Diddy party for purposes of networking? Why can't you network outside of a Diddy party? Because as soon as you show up at a Diddy party, man, Diddy ain't gonna take you seriously. He gonna look at you as a fun guy just like he is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bro, I don't know about that. Oh, I'm gonna pull up just a network. No, I don't know about that, family. That right there sound like a little. That sound like a little diabolical right there. Come on, brother. Come on, pastor. You can't be doing it like that.
You do at the party that defiles your character. Now, if he participated in any debauchery, you know what I'm saying, that's against what he preaches, then that's something he had to lay on his sword. He already know what it is. But I'm just saying, before the networking with people that's of not of your faith, we need to cut that out. That's one of the things that causes division. Because they don't have your particular belief in your faith, therefore you don't want to do any business with them, or you prejudge them or judge them. So no, I will fellowship with whoever want to fellowship with me, because I know I bring God, and I'm gonna lead it like that.
Brother Ben X, we've had speakers such as, the Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, yourself, you've been a voice for those of the voiceless as far as giving direction to some people that need it. When you see someone like a voice like T.D. Jakes stepping down, give me your take on him stepping down, and can that mantle did he leave it void by giving it to his children? It's almost like what's the word? What's the word they use for like when LeBron's son, just nepotism, that your children are the ones that get it versus someone else. Give me a take on Bishop stepping down, and does it leave a void?
I seen the situation where he had the health issue on stage, and if that was the reason, I think that my first thought is every great leader should have somebody that they're able to have come after them. I'll quote the minister in sharing this, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has prepared us for his departure for many decades. And many people, if you wrongly idol worship someone, you could have a void. So he said this. He said, if I catch you Muslims talking stupid, saying, oh, the minister is leaving, what are we gonna do? He said, do what you've been doing, but do it better. He says, in fact, you sound like a disbeliever in God. God isn't going anywhere. So if we see a flesh, finite human being as the only medium for us to get to God, then there would be a void. But if we take the words, if we take the books, if we take the lectures that he has left, and realize that God is the only reality, and only God, the supreme being, is the one that is to be worshiped, then that connection should still be there. And so if we let the word go into us and then we have a personal relationship with God, as T.D. Jakes, I'm sure, has a personal relationship with God, then we should continue on. From a Muslim, I always, when people get into that with the minister, I say there's many brothers and sisters who have changed their lives in prison and never met the minister before. They've never touched him physically. They never hugged him physically, but through a word going into their mind, they was able to change their life through the changing of their heart. So the scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, not by the, another human being. So as long as I can get the word from him, from a video, from a book, I met him, I still see him. The videos ain't going nowhere. The word that he used to redeem us isn't going anywhere. So if we look at it from that perspective and have the right attitude and place our worship in the right area, then him stepping down wouldn't be a bad thing. Because if you're a leader, what happens after you're gone? You got to prepare somebody else, or else you are doing harm and you are leaving a void if you don't prepare somebody, because in reality, we all got to go. So that's my perspective on it.
Thank you for that. And Bishop Eli, if you don't mind, you got your own congregation.
Well, he sounds real good. He should have been a preacher when he made that.
Answer the question.
Hey, but I'm going to start something. But he got some sense. This boy here, I don't know what to say about him. I'm going to say this here. It's true, because the Bible said even when Moses died, everybody knew Joshua. And when Moses died, God told Joshua, he said, my servant Moses dead. He's my servant, not yours. And so he told Joshua, be encouraged. Amen. You realize that God is the one that raised a man up. He's the one that pour a man down. The way I see the church world, the church done got so sidetracked. I love a lot of things that T.D. Jakes have done. Matter of fact, my ministry started in prison because I used to hear him say, get ready, get ready, get ready. And he did a lot of ministry on TV.
And I must say, family, a lot of men that get sentenced to prison or spend time in prison, they, for the most part, most come back as better people. And it's a shame that as human beings, we have to be locked away and caged like animals for us to be in a position where now we can receive the downloads, whether you say where the Christians call it God speaking to them, putting them in a place where they have no choice but to listen to his voice. So call it that, or call some people who believe in, in a creator, but they believe in getting downloads. If you align yourself with the creator, they download information. However you believe that these people change their lives in prison, they come out as different people. So, the fact that you have these pastors that take the time to go out and visit these prisons and minister to these men and women that are locked up, it's a powerful thing to see. And a lot of those people, man, they find peace in a place of chaos, because prison is chaos. They have their own little society, their own little community with their own little rules. And only difference is they just locked away. Crazy, family.
Able to go to the church, but he brought the church to prison. So I think that every man that has a legacy, or every man that God chooses to raise up and use, we should try to gain the positive things out of it, and anything negative, leave it up to God. But one thing I disagree with church folks, when you said passing the mountain and all these things, I hate that majority church have used God's house for a personal gain or personal situation, to where when you say that if it's God's house, I think that we should never choose who we want to put over God's house. I don't agree with that. I never have. I tell people at my church, I have a sons. I don't have no daughters. But if my son living like a heathen and I die, do not put him in God's food pit and do not put him over the church. I don't agree with that because I know there's a business side, but God's house is not a business for our personal gain. Some people use churches like keep the money in the family. I don't agree with that at all. It's too many good, intelligent people who have served, who deserve to be over God's people. And I remember when Apostle Herman Mary and Apostle had died, and he chose Herman Mary to be the leader for a gospel. I think that was a good decision. It's different if they are qualified for it. And I'm not saying the young lady is not qualified to be over the Potter house, but I do know the Bible said that he suffered not for a woman to have authority over a man. He's not saying that a woman cannot preach. He's not saying that a woman cannot be a pastor. But if there's a man available, Paul said a man was made first. And so I think that a man should be first to get the opportunity. It's because the church is so messed up. We don't seek after what's best for the people. We seek out what's best for us. And I have a problem with that because I think that a lot of decisions over the years, even my grandmama, that we was raised up Pentecost, and her sister got to church. Then after her daughter got to church, and after her daughter got to church, her daughter got to church, and nobody never search out like they did when they looked for the apostle and they let the Lord pick. They just already had it already laid out. That's the problem I got with churches. We got to keep it real. And when I see that, I ask myself, God, is it you? Because the church is so messed up now. The people, they don't see people concerned about the soul. They're concerned about the goal. And the goal can mislead you and guide you and make decisions based on what the flesh say instead of what the spirit say. And so T.D. Jake stepping down, there's nothing wrong with that. Like this brother said, if we don't worship man, we don't have a problem with it. If man is our champ and God is not our champ, then the people's going to whine and cry. But if God is your champ, you never set up a church for people to lift you up. Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. You never set the people up that when I die, what we going to do? And you don't make people feel like they the priest. Jesus said, I'm the high priest. I'm the mediator between man and God. I never want my church to worship me because man will fail you. Man lie.
And see, family, that is where we at right now with these churches. You know, you have a lot of churches where a lot of its members are elderly on fixed incomes. Man, listen, instead of the pastor going back to work or maybe scaling back some things, can the members give more? Can you give more? Then you got um, you got all different, man, all these different funds they have going on. The pastor's love fund, the pastor's wife love fund, the mother. It's just all these different funds that you wind up contributing to. Then you still got to tie. Listen, let me tell you something. And then you got them churches where they say, "Hey, listen, we want everybody to give $1,000 today." They just don't have a problem asking you to part ways with $1,000. Be damn if you got it or not, man. We in trying times, man. We in people having financial difficulties, and you asking them to give $1,000. But then we got examples out there that we can't deny. I'm not going to say that, when that good people that do good things can't be sinful. And when man who are put in these positions, who are these bishops and pastors and reverends and these people that say they come in the name of God and they come to say to people, are you really there to say to people, or are you there for, like the one brother said, there for the gold instead of the souls? And I believe once churches get, you get one of them mega churches, man, can you imagine how much these people are worth? Joe Osteen's, the TD Jakes, man, can you imagine how much they are worth? So, man, churches become like he said, a business. And it's in the business of making money. Believe it or not. So I think in today's time, the churches move further away from saving people, saving souls, and closer to, hey, this is a business. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And everybody trying to eat. It's just unfortunate. And that's why a lot of people nowadays they shy away from religion. They don't, a lot of people don't want any parts of it because they're like, man, if the best that you had to offer was TD Jakes, and not saying that he didn't do great things because he did. But the problem is at some point he lost sight of what was of what was for good and righteous and what was evil because man, the love of money, the root of all evil. And when the one good brother said, "Oh well, if I would have went to a Diddy event. I'd have went to a Diddy event to network." Man, I just believe when you um uh, uh, yeah, okay, I understand that if you are really a man of God, that in the name of Jesus, you supposedly can dispel 100 demons, but why put yourself into that predicament if you don't have to? Why go to a Diddy party? You got all this diabolical, demonic, evil energy going on. Why would you want to even try it? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to try it? I'm just saying, me personally, I wouldn't even want to put myself in that position. If 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 you wanted to network with Diddy and Diddy saw the benefit in collabing with you or donating to your, what I'm saying, to your religious cause, then he can get with you outside of you having to go to his party. No, I don't think as a man of God, you should have to sacrifice your values as a man of God to go network for what purposes? What is networking equating to saving souls? So you finna go to a Diddy party with all them damn heathens up in there and try to save souls? Man, I don't know if I don't know if Jesus could have pulled that off, and he was all powerful. Man, I I, I mean, at some point, why would you put yourself in that predicament? Why would you go? You got all these heathens because everybody know what's going on at the Diddy party. And if you stayed at the Diddy party past a certain hour, maybe during the daylight hours of Diddy party, it was not, it was white party. It was nice, formal and whatnot. What no craziness going on. What no debauchery going on. But after a certain hour, the people that ain't want to be involved in the den of iniquities, they exited the premises. But those that stayed, they knew damn well and good what was going on. And unfortunately, according to, court documents, the good bishop was there. So, as I said earlier, man, we don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. None of us can pass judgment. Whether you believe in the foundational religion basis, whether you Baptist, Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witness, Jewish, Islam, Buddhism, whatever you want to call yourself. But at the end of the day, in all those religions, there is a foundation where you should have values and purity, or you should at least strive for it. Nobody's gonna. I don't believe that no man of human flesh is perfect. But that don't mean you shouldn't strive to be perfect. And I just don't know that I would have put myself in that position to go to one of them parties, man, not knowing I had the position, being in that position. I don't know if I would have made that decision that the good bishop made.
God won't. Man die, God can't. Man cheat, God will never cheat. Man deceive, God will never deceive. So man always have flaws. So never put salvation, people life in another man's hand. I don't agree with that, especially if he got sin.
So, family, I agree 100% with that. I agree 100% with that. But the problem is this. The good bishop stepped down, and whoever they put in this position, whoever they elevate to that position, they now gonna be, you know what I'm saying, they gonna be the face of that mega church. And man, when that money start coming in, watch out. Because this person could have all the best intentions. Maybe they in it to save souls, maybe. Or maybe they in it for the gold. It's hard to tell because in them mega churches, every man, you gotta know once you get to a certain level, man, the money is flowing. I hate to put it like that, but that's just the way it is. So at the end of the day, these gentlemen, they, you know, yeah, they loosely answered the question as to, what they thought about it. And I think what they all said was this. Even though the good bishop may have fell short, he still did good things. So let's not be so critical of the man and forget all the lives that he touched. Let's not be so critical of the good bishop and forget all the people's lives that he's changed. It just depends on how you view it. The people that don't really believe in, a foundational religion, you just believe that there's a creator, and when you pass on, you either gonna, your energy goes back to the creator. It's just people believe a lot of different things nowadays. So we can conclude why the good bishop stepped down, and we can conclude why he probably had a multitude of health issues. Man, wearing them many hats, on one face you got, you the head of this mega church, but then on the other hand, you hanging out with, Diddy and all of them. Man, that I can imagine how much stress it is to tote, because man, now you toting the burden of the very word of God. You going against what the Bible, the how can you get up and preach knowing that you're not living what you're preaching, man? That alone, you taking on the whole, if you believe in such a thing, you are taking on the whole weight of the almighty creator. And that cannot be good for your health. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.